Welcome back to the Sanctuary, Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail, and the newest patch, patch 7.1, Crossroads. Cruznik X, along with Arya Stormborn.
Yes.
Lord Fireaxe.
No.
And Corlash.
Butter is milk.
Just curdle. Anyways.
Actually, no.
Churn.
That's cheap.
Anyways, the story so far. We finally got through the Ueawata research facility, or whatever this place is. And we discovered the name of a Mamulja woman who may possibly be Galulja's mother. We are about to head up to the observatory, so let's get right down to it. Talk to Krile and get down to it with the next quest in our journey, Among the Abandoned. While we've discerned the purpose of the research conducted here, the traces of it that remain might afford us greater insight into what came of it. Let us take a look around for information as well as a way to the upper level. Can we ride our motorcycle in here? No, we cannot. Which means we're going running.
Running is good for your health.
Yep.
You do not want to run motorcycle in an enclosed area.
I mean, I do, but I don't have a motorcycle, so.
My boss is selling a motorcycle.
How does that help me?
Here's a lift can be seen behind the wrought iron gate. As sturdy as it appears, the gate will likely resist attempts to force it open. A security panel is nearby. Perhaps a verification key will open the way.
Now, hear me out.
No.
I think Bahamut rip it open.
I approve this theory.
Ooh, test subject's journal.
Or just possibly shoot the lock. And the hinges.
Let's see. They're recruiting volunteers for a new experiment. I know I'm not as bright as the others, but they wouldn't laugh at me if I was stronger than them. This might be my chance. Soul transferred few days ago. I can write? Can write good? Yes? I am good. Very good. Getting hard to control strength. Today bit off hand of feeder. Cannot help it, so strong. Hungry. Always hungry. Cannot control. Eat. I must eat. Am eater. Must eat. You find nothing that resembles a verification key. Perhaps you should search elsewhere. How about this open cabinet? Supplies for the staff are neatly arranged within the cabinet. Among the various items is a manual outlining regulations and tranquilizing gas to be used in emergencies. You dig deeper and find a verification key. Perhaps it can be used to open the gate. All right. Security panel. You found the key? Great. I'll call the others. It seems the key can be used to operate the lift as well. Up we go. So this is the observatory. I didn't expect it to be similar. This is a far cry from the temple that held Valigarmanda. All the machinery appears to still be in operation. I expect there are auxiliary systems in place to ensure that monitoring can continue even in emergency. The warnings indicate various anomalies. Related to the seal's failure, most likely. For a blessing, we managed to fell the beast before it could cause harm. Right then. Let's see if we can find some clues about Goluja's mother. I think I can use this terminal. Shale taught me how. There's so much data. I don't know what we should look at. Perhaps we can narrow down the search by inputting the name Tishal Jah. Ah, it brought up a lot of results. They all seem to say the same thing. Tishal Jah, Administrator of Experimental Treatments, Research Logs. This sounds good, doesn't it? Chances are the data is encrypted, and even if not, it will take considerable time to go through it all. Then let us take it with us back to the back room and have Shale analyze it. Agreed. All right. I'll transfer it to the storage device I brought. There. It's finished. Thank you so much for bringing me all the way here, everyone. If you're happy, then so am I. Besides, I was able to learn more about my brother as well. It was a fruitful adventure for the both of us. Hey, Corlash, where'd you get that emote?
Golden saucer.
Ah, that explains a lot. I'll probably
50,000 MGP.
Oh, I think I have
How
enough.
much?
50,000. I think I have enough.
I do not.
I do. I'll get it later.
Eh.
Anyway, speaking to Graha. Here we are. The authorities will doubtless wish to be informed about the facility and its contents. First things first. Let us deliver the data to Shale. Alright, back to Solution 9. I'll foot the bill for it. And back to the Neon Stein. Right, I'm just waiting on Arya to...
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. You take the longest out of all of us just because you're playing on PS4.
Oh.
Good on you.
Excuse me.
All right, there she is. Into the back room with us.
Giggity.
Shale? Welcome back. Galoja has already given me the storage device. There looks to be a wealth of data, all of which is encrypted, so I'll need time to process everything. In that case, Alice and I might take ourselves around the city and check on the people. Aye, their mood had us a bit worried. I don't know if there's anything we can do to help, but we'll see. Understood. I'll let you know as soon as I finish my work. Thank you. We'll see you again soon. Oh, looks like Geode's got something for us. Alice isn't wrong. Mood out there is still grim. Some of the Krile remember a time before they were dependent on the Sol system, but even they're unsettled and wondering aloud if they'll have the chance to reunite with old friends and family before they pass on. With good reason, too. Journey home won't be an easy one for those who have grown old. That's why it's mostly been younger folk who've been leaving for Krile. Ones with no elders to care for. Word of that problem has reached us in Tuliolal. My brother is doing all he can to see the Shaktaral Railroad restored to operation so that people may come and go more freely. Unfortunately, the tracks only go as far as Vanguard, so some traveling by foot will still be necessary. Even so, the railroad would make things a sight easier. How long before it's back in service? I couldn't say. When I left for this visit, Gona seemed reluctant to make promises. But while Shale's working on the data, we could go and see the state of it. We could go and see the state of it for ourselves. To Shaloni Station, then. I'll make sure to keep Gona informed. All right, we are off to the Sheshinaweze Springs. Now, see, at least that one was easy to pronounce. Hello, Walika. You know, I probably said it before, but I'm gonna say it again. This music would not sound out of place in a Wild Arms game.
No, it wouldn't. It sounds pretty good about Arms.
What's that?
I agree.
Yeah.
I know you don't hear this very often, but you're right.
Hey,
Alright.
he hears it more than you think.
Anyway, let's speak to Walika.
Maybe not from you.
Vow of Resolve. Chris Valentine the Boot. What can I do you for? We're hoping for some good news about the railroad. There's an increasing number of people looking to return to Krile that can't make the journey on foot. I see. As it happens, the Vow of Reason is also on his way here to take stock of the situation. Scratch the on his way. Whoa! Aaronville got new digs. Looking good, Aaronville.
I like the other one better.
As the guildship has officially approved my transition from gleaner to independent contractor, I was in need of a more fitting attire. You are here about the railroad too? It was in part for my sake that the original Dawnblazer was sacrificed, so I felt it only right that I assist with its replacement. Speaking of which, I assume Lamati has explained the growing urgency of the need. What have you to report? The new locomotive was on track for completion. We're having difficulty pulling her into the station, in a manner of speaking. You see, when we used the Dawnblazer to get into the dome, urgency outweighed all the other considerations. Now we're back to our original problem. How to run the railroad without upsetting the inhabitants of Mewahesoan. That is, the Ronik. Though the Hetsaru that follow them are none too pleased about their Hetzel being spooked by the noise of the locomotive, either. The solution I've devised to quieten in the railroad should address that complaint. But a silent train presents a different danger. The Ronik will need to be deterred from wandering across the tracks. And I suppose we can't just blow a little the whistle at them, or they'll panic and be put off their grazing again. Weren't the rail routes plotted to avoid the Ronik's preferred grazing areas, though? It's odd that they're getting so close in the first place. The Ronik's grazing patterns have shifted since the tracks were laid. I am not certain why, but I intend to speak with the people of Mewahesoan for their insight. As a major proponent of the railroad, I have a duty to assist in this matter, and I too would hear what the Hetsaru have to say about it. They are the ones most affected, after all. I believe it would be best to begin by consulting their leader, Hawato. The rest of you can accompany us to the Hetsaru encampment if you like. It's a good thing we can teleport there. Alright, here comes Arya, I think. Yep, and Fire Axe. What the fuck were you just riding?
Me?
No, Fire Axe. He's riding is that a capybara?
Yep. Yes, it's capybara.
Oh my god, you got the capybara.
He's adorable. Though it looks a little weird with you riding on it. Anyway, let's speak to Hawato. Vow of resolve. Vow of reason. I bid you welcome to our camp. But what brings you all the way to Mewahesoan? I thank you for seeing us. Our visit concerns the matter of the Shaktaral Railroad. You too have noted the Ronik's unexpected change in behavior then. My son, Geppetto, has been looking into this matter. Geppetto? Normally, we'd expect the Ronik to keep their favorite grounds nearby for a while yet. And despite a thorough search, we haven't found anything wrong with the quantity or quality of the grazing in Piari, Yowanan and Yowatane. Yet they refuse to keep to where they usually would, instead pushing westward toward your railroad. I certainly see no cause for this unusual unseasonable migration. Nevertheless, should they continue to move west, follow. As any true Hitsaro would, I suppose. As you may have surmised, I am of a Hitsaro descent. My parents traveled with the Ronik as well, though I myself have no memory of the experience. I was left behind as a babe, you see, during such a migration. One of the many sacrifices necessitated by a nomadic lifestyle, I was to assume. A chance encounter with a kind Pelu merchant was the only reason I survived. Taking pity on me, he taught me his trade that I might fend for myself. I became a stall keeper in Tuliolala's markets, and that is where the Dawn servant found and adopted me. I had already been in the palace some time when Lamati came to join us. Like me, she had been cast aside by her parents. I knew the pain of solitude and wanted to spare her that suffering. As this tiny child's new brother, I swore I would always be there for her. Truly. I've never heard of the Ronig choosing a path so arduous as to force such a terrible decision, nor of any Hitsaro willingly leaving their own flesh and blood behind. Must have been some exceptional circumstance. I cannot say. The idea of following in their footsteps that I might better make excuses for their actions never much appealed to me. Even if it might help you better understand the Ronig's current behavior? As is so often the case, you are correct. Though my discomfort with the Hitsaro way may arise from fear of reopening old wounds rather than blind fervor for innovation, it would nevertheless see me repeat past mistakes. And to refuse to learn one of our country's treasured traditions make me a poor Dawn servant indeed. Please, teach me of the Ronik and what they mean to you. I promise to listen with an open mind. We'll be delighted. In the meantime, your companions are welcome to look around. Will you learn of Hitsaro culture with me? I should like to approach this with the fervent curiosity that you and my sister share, but it would be useful to know whether I am, doing it correctly. Then it's settled. You'll learn more of the Ronik, and we'll have a look around the plains. And perhaps, in the process, we'll find the answers we seek. Alright, Shiphetto. The quickest way to learn about our way of life is to do as we do. I hope you're not above manual labor. I am not the most experienced, I am ashamed to admit, but I shall put forth every effort. That's all we ask. Take these tools. Now, introduce yourself to anyone who looks busy and ask if you can help. They'll be happy to teach you what to do in exchange for another pair of hands to do it. Let us meet back here later to share what we have learned. Okay. Alright, I guess I'll follow Corlash. over this way. As you stroke the Ronik's coat, you note that many portions are shaggy and tangled. This one's fur is a bit overgrown, but a good brushing should thin it out. Would you like to give it a try? You'll need the right tool for the job, mind you. A comb of the type you're used to would just get lost in the tangle like as not. Ah, Geppetto sent a Ronik brush with you, did he? How like him. Now, just run it through one little patch at a time. Gently. You dutifully brush the Ronik until your arms grow weary from the prolonged battle with its coat. It appears much tidier now, but the same cannot be said for your clothes, which have acquired a new coat of their own. Well done! With less excess fur, our friend here will be more comfortable in the afternoon heat and less susceptible to illness. A combed coat also makes it easier for us to identify injuries should the need arise. You're learning about the Hetsaro way of life, are you? I may have a thing or two to share, but rather than talking your ear off, let me test your powers of deduction. I find answers much easier to recall later if I arrived at them myself. A Hetso provide us with something that we use in medicines, poultices, and soap to drive away pests and to sustain our fires. What is it? I'm gonna say is it dung again? It sounds like there's a story there, but that is indeed the correct answer. We've discovered myriad uses for Ronik chips over time, each a boon to our way of life. Where there is a need, our Hetso always provide. It was actually dung. Again. Alright.
Yep.
This won't do. Wind will go right through it. And me without my needle and sinew. Oh, these are precisely what I needed. I should be able to patch up the covering now. Given how often we pack up and reassemble our tents, they're bound to get the occasional tear. Fortunately, the Ronik hide they're made of is durable enough that we generally needn't worry. And now for the talkative Hetsaro. I'm afraid I finished with my tasks for the time being. But since you're so eager to learn about our way of life, why don't I tell you a bit about our migration customs? If you're here, you likely already know that the Ronik are our Hetzel, our guides. We travel through the turning of the seasons. We trust them to lead us to fertile lands with all we need to survive. But you may not know that sometimes the herd splits into two, bound for different paths. On those occasions, we Hetsaro must also part with half our number. You may think it a strange and stressful custom, but over the years it has seen us visit new lands, broaden our horizons of people. This too is the wisdom of the Hetzel. All right, Geppetto. You smell of the grass and the wind. Which is a good thing, I promise. You could nearly be mistaken for one of us. And with the horns of a Ronik to boot. I have to wonder how Valcona is getting on. I assumed he would be reluctant to get his hands dirty, but it seems his wish to understand us was sincere. Ah, there he is now. Apologies for my tardiness. I was tasked with grazing the Ronik and ended up rather far afield. I found myself wandering hither and thither at my companion's inclination. To force us back to the trail seemed inappropriate. But how was your own work? Have you anything to share? The Ronik are treasured members of this community, as important as family. Indeed. The Ronik provide for the Hetsaru, and in turn, the Hetsaru are good to the Ronik. Just as family should be. Mine is not the only way. Though at times, I lack the experience to know otherwise. My inability to conceive of how a decision might be right does not mean that it is wrong. My parents had a duty to the Ronik, as they did to me. And so I wonder if their leaving me behind was not so selfish an act as I once believed. I have no way to know, of course. And regardless, this has no bearing on our present concerns. We are here in service of the people of Toral, after all. Nevertheless, I thank you for helping me find deeper meaning in what we've done today. And I will endeavor to remain curious, especially where the Hetsu are concerned. I'm glad to hear that, Valcona. You're welcome among our herd anytime. All right. We should probably take another quick break. Yeah, we should probably take a break. Looks like a cutscene is about to come up, or a serious cutscene is about to come up. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.